Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this live Q&A with the coronavirus. Yes, so this is what it's all about. It's how can we make sure we're bulletproofing your business so as you're going forwards, you can make sure you've got the best possible strategy for being able to get weather the storm that the coronavirus has given us. Because let's face it, we're in this point where it's unprecedented times and we don't know exactly what it's going to be doing to us going forwards, and we don't know how it's going to make our changes to our business. The one thing we can guarantee is that change is going to happen. So whether you're worried about the change, not worried about the change, unknown what the change is going to be, this hopefully will start to get you into some kind of ideas as to where you can go and what you can actually do with this, because like everything in life, there's always two sides to the coin. So first of all, go through. If you have got any questions that you'd like me to specifically answer, then please submit your questions and we'll quite happily go through them towards the end of the video. Just make sure we have got those. A big shout out to Dave there. Good to see you online already. I hope everything is going well with you. Also, if you like this kind of format where you're getting lots of information specific to your business that's topical, etc., then please feel free to join the Facebook group where we do this on a regular basis, have a number of different live Q&A events. We have a great community there, which is really about trying to help each other out. And part of that helping each other out is we also have experts that come in and give us information about their specific viewpoints. That's other members of the group and actually experts that we're bringing in from alternative places. So if there's a burning question that I can't answer, or a member of the group can't answer, then we tend to go to the community to find that answer, because at the end of the day you don't have to do everything yourself. There are lots of people out there that have already done these type of things before in the past and have already got the answers that we need to try in our businesses for the future. Also, we do things like talking business, where we do an interview type of scenario by which we kind of talk around a specific subject, a specific piece of expertise, and really start to explore the kind of experience that other people have had in being able to make that thing work for them. So without further ado though, let's go back to the topic in hand, which is COVID-19. So where are we with COVID-19 today? That's actually quite a good question. We're in the middle at the moment in the UK with a whole variety of different things coming out in the news almost on a daily basis. I've just found out today, for example, that my son and daughter are no longer in college and school. They've both been sent home as of tomorrow. So lots of different changes happening almost on a minute by minute basis. But like with anything, change also creates opportunity. And it's about trying to find sometimes what are those opportunities. So when we think about any kind of balance, we have the risks on one side of what could happen in our business and what we're going to need to mitigate and manage. Because I'm not going to be like some of the other broadcasts that I've heard where people are blowing lots of great smoke at people and pretending nothing's happening, etc. Some things are happening, regardless of whether you get the virus or not, regardless of whether you believe the virus is amazingly potent or not, whether you believe what's going to happen with it. The fact of the matter is you've got a massive number of people that do believe, and this kind of changes the whole landscape, because now we've got herd mentality. People are specifically now taking into action, and they're do things such as hoarding. We're seeing this straight away in things like supermarkets where you go there and toilet rolls are gone. The basic food substances are gone. We've got people rationing what's being given out. We've got stores that are actually closing up at specific times. So all these kind of things are happening at this point in time, which are happening to our business as well. So even if we're on the slow part of the arc, slow part of the curve, we will be seeing problems happening. So don't deny them. You've got to embrace them and see what it is that you're doing and how can we make it work better for your business. But like with anything, there is always opportunities. And while you're looking for those risks and you're trying to work out how you can best manage and mitigate them in your organisation, also look for those great opportunities, because this is an opportunity to grow. There are more billionaires made in downturns than there are in upturns. There is more opportunities at that point where there is friction, at the point where there are people looking for solutions, at the point where things need to happen, something's got to change. And that's where we are today. So look for those opportunities that marry up your skills and what you can do with what are the needs of the marketplace there, and what are the needs that people have. And this could be a whole variety of different things. So really go out of your way to kind of identify what are those key risks and what are in your business, and also what are those key opportunities. Now, let's walk through a few of those and see where we can go. And just another big shout out to James. Good to see you on board as well. Hopefully we're going to have a great evening this evening going through some of the key things that we've seen around COVID-19 so far. So let's have a bit of a summary of where we are from the British government. So first of all, there's a probability of lockdown. I'm pretty sure everyone's now getting the idea that this is coming. What that means in real terms is still got to be ironed out. There's no specifics being given by anybody in central government. In fact, there's no specifics by government at all around what's happening with this. There's lots of promises, there's lots of noise, etc. going on, but actually the details of tactically how is this going to be implemented, how is it actually going to be put into action, and how are we going to be affected, has still got to really come to light. Other things that we're kind of hearing though from them is they've got this government-backed guaranteed loans. So this was an old style scheme that's been around. In fact, I think it still is around, where you can go to any bank or building society as a small business and you will be able to get a government-backed guaranteed loan. This will hopefully mean that businesses that may struggle with finances can get a way of being able to tie themselves up, be able to make sure they can get that. But do realise this is a guaranteed loan, so you will have to pay the money back. You'll apply through the banks like you would do normally, and that will give you some kind of way of being able to get out of this cash flow crisis, certainly in the short term, maybe the next 2-3 months, depending on exactly how long things are going to be unsettled for. What else is going on? We've got the position where they said they're going to allow grants to come out, which again is very unclear what that actually means. What do they mean by a grant? Who's going to actually be able to get hold of them? Is it just going to be business to consumer businesses? Is it going to be business to business businesses? Is it only going to be businesses that actually have premises? Is it going to apply to even solopreneurs, other entrepreneurs? So there's a whole variety of different scenarios that haven't actually been classified as to whether they will or won't be applicable. Not only that, but on top of this, they've also got, there's no details of how you're going to be able to apply for these grants in any way, shape or form. So if you're expecting the grant to be the lifeline, it may be that you're maybe weeks down the line before that actually comes out. So do look at other alternatives, ways of being able to manage your business and make sure your business survives and thrives in this time. And we'll go into some more of those in a moment or two. Anyway, thinking further ahead, we've also got the business rate relief. So again, if anybody does have property, they have specifically says that business rates will be there will be some relief on those going forwards, and they've also been working with mortgage lenders to allow a 3-month mortgage holiday. The other thing that's kind of come out in the news that people are talking about is the 14-day statutory sick pay, which the businesses will now be able to claim back, which they never used to be able to do over the last few years. How you exactly claim that back, again, there's no details on the specifics of how these things are going to happen. So there's a whole variety of different measures that government are looking at, and hopefully over the next 2, 3, 5 days we will see more of the information about these start to come to light and be able to get access to that information. So please keep an eye on all the good websites and the great advisors that you take advice from. So what do we need to think about in our business as to how we can actually start to manage and mitigate some of those risks that we're carrying before those risks become actual issues that you're going to feel? So let's look at them in different areas. So first of all, let's look at the monetary side of it, the finance side of it. First of all, you need to be forecasting your cash flow. It should be a great practice to you guys anyway. It should be part of actually running your business, so you know day by day, week by week, month by month, what is your cash position, and you can predict very easily when you're going to have a situation where you may run out of money, or it might cause you some problems, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be left high and dry. You want to be in a business that's still going to be able to work going forwards, and that means that you need to have that cash flow. Remember, cash is king. Not only that, but you want to be looking at how you can reduce some of your overheads just down to the absolute core overheads, the minimums, because again, when it comes down to trying to keep your business afloat and make sure it runs, there's a number of times you may have subscribed for something or taken on board a service or taken on board a vendor which at the time seemed absolutely fantastic, but today may not be serving your business in the right way, or it might be serving your business but not while you don't have the same volume of customers coming through. So can you look at how you can reduce some of those overheads, do a bit of pruning and spring cleaning in your own garden effectively, and make sure that you're not carrying things that you shouldn't be carrying going forwards. The other thing to think about and to really understand is what is your break-even point? Because if you understand exactly where your break-even point is, so the point where you're bringing in enough money into your business and you've got enough to be able to pay your overheads, then you know specifically how much money to bring in. And if you know that, then if you do need to go for some borrowing, such as with the bank or apply for grants, etc., you'll already have the information that they'll need and they'll be asking you for to hand before they go through. Because if you just turn up to expect a grant, or you turn up at a bank and saying, okay, I just need some money to tide me over, while you may have a gut feeling or a good idea of what you need and how you're going to need it for, having the facts and the figures is going to be the thing that they're going to ask you for straight away. What's your cash flow going to be like? Where is your cash shortfall? What's your sales strategy to get your break-even point back over? How are you going to make sure you can bring that income in? How have you reduced your overheads? Is there any other overheads you can get rid of? These are just standard questions that banks and investors and I'm guessing the government at this point will be asking you. So prepare now. We all know it's going to be coming. So make sure you've got this information to hand and you're using it, and then that way you're already ahead of the game. Because you can imagine as this starts to kick in and starts to bite, more and more people are going to be on the back side of the curve, and if you're at the front side of the curve, you've got more chance of making sure that your business survives and thrives to live another day. Other things you can do from a cash perspective is make sure you're chasing for overdue payments. They've got people that probably haven't paid you for the last month or the last 2 months and things. Make sure you are chasing those and closing them down. And if you've got customers there that aren't paying or won't pay, etc., then just get rid of them. Don't spend the energy on it. It's time now to be prudent and make sure you've kind of pull things back in and you're not wasting effort, because at the end of the day, we all know time is money. Finally, what you might want to do is, if you have got any large debts that you want to take a payment holiday from, then speak to your providers now about it. Find out what are their criteria. What is it that you need to do or need to prove to be able to accept that payment holiday? And also the other way around, some of your clients might be asking you if they can have a payment holiday so that they can get over their problems from a financial perspective. What are you going to be expecting them to prove? How is that going to have an impact on your cash flow? How is it going to impact your bottom line going forward? And understand that that every time you're going to get a payment holiday for one of your clients, that might mean that you need to get even more money inside your business to tide you over to make sure it works. Now, that's thinking about things from a financial perspective and really getting you guys prepared for the days and weeks ahead. What other kind of aspects of your business, though, should we be looking at, and how can we actually make a difference in these? Now, another key area is actually thinking around the kind of products and services that you're offering, and really review all those products and services and look at them really the cold, harsh light of day. Are these things that you could continue to operate? Can you continue to operate them with the government restrictions in place? Could you operate them with the lockdown in place? How would you deal with your clients with those? Can you get the product to the customer? Can you get the service out to the customer? Are there alternative ways of dealing with things? We're already seeing that many businesses are already enacting their kind of plan B now with regards to offering services such as dropping things without actually touching them, having the opportunity to pay only by card, not by cash anymore. So all these kind of little things may be ways that you can think about actually being able to still provide your same products and services and be able to weather the storm that way. Because at the end of the day, people are still buying. People still want things. And this is evident. I mean, if you just go to the supermarket, the shelves are empty. People are still wanting to go and get things. If you go into, sometimes, yes, it's quieter, but people are still there. They are still looking at that, getting the essentials and the things that they need to be able to get through these next few weeks and months. The other thing to think about is you've probably got some products or services that are unprofitable, that you kind of just carry because you have been doing it for so long or people expect them, etc. Use this as a great opportunity to clear those out. Either get rid of the unprofitable services or use it as a way of being able to make them profitable. How could you make that service is a more leaner service, or how can you make that product for a cheaper price? How could you deliver that in a much better way, or how can you just increase the prices? At the end of the day, it's not always about a decrease. If you look at the price of cereals now in Tesco's, they've just gone up from what was £2 or £3 a box to £4 and £5 a box. Is that profiteering? No idea, but it's a supply and demand thing at the end of the day. Also, look at how you can move some of your services to online delivery. While we've got used to the way that we deliver things all the time, maybe in person, we like that great personal feel. Actually, moving to online delivery might even make it even easier for your customers to consume your service, and also probably give them a better quality of service. Now, there are some things you might want to do, such as being able to do it via a web service, which allows you to be able to see and interact with the other person, especially if you're going to be doing something where you're giving them a specific feedback. Also, if you're looking at some kind of sales scenario, again, having a web conferencing service where you can actually see the other person, you're able to pick on some of those nuances that come out during the conversations, those bits that you don't tend to get when you're doing email or just a conference call. And you've also got that thing that if people are just sat there in their Bermuda shorts and Hawaiian t-shirts, you'll be able to see exactly what they are doing being at home. And don't judge them for it. At the end of the day, if you're going to be working from home, be comfortable. If you're comfortable in a shirt, wear a shirt. If you're comfortable in a t-shirt, then wear a t-shirt. But set those expectations before the meeting so people don't come into that meeting expecting a different thing. Also, it's time to probably rethink your marketing and your marketing activities. So again, look at how you're actually dealing with your marketing spend today and what it is that you need to redo to refocus. Is it a case of you need to get more goodwill messages out there? Is it a case of you need to be exploring new opportunities with clients? Is it a case of you need to take a new approach with your marketing? Whatever it is, use this as a great catalyst to be able to make that happen and really take the opportunity to see how you can make that work. And another point is really put that extra effort in with your clients, because today everyone's going to be feeling a little bit unsure, a little bit don't know where we're going to be going or how we're going to get through this, and they may be at this point where actually they just want to abandon the services because they're trying to become very protectionist and they very much want to see themselves sorted out. But the thing is, cancelling the services that deal with you may not be in their best interest, but giving them that little bit of support, a little bit extra effort, that little bit extra love and attention may be the difference between something where they're feeling quite hurt and actually the fact that they just want to get rid of as much as they can, to actually they begin to see this as a growth opportunity and how they can improve their business as well. So that's kind of thinking of it from the financial perspective, thinking about it from your products and services perspective, and hopefully it's giving you a few different ideas there. Again, if you do have any questions, then please raise them in the chat window. We'll try and get those answered shortly. But think about another kind of key asset that you've got in your business. In fact, it's the one which most organisations say is their primary asset, and that is the one that walks on two legs, and that's your staff. And your staff may be people that are internal to your business, they may be contractors, they may be consultants, they may be outsourced, they may be third parties, whatever makes up the body of people that actually deliver the services and the products that you develop to your clients, that solve your clients' problems. Just think about that is the ecosystem you're going to be working with, and really getting them through this. Now, there's obviously the key thing, which is the duty of care. Now, straight away, there's lots of NHS guidance out there. There's lots of guidance from the government. So please follow the guidance and make sure you're not falling short. Even if you are using third parties or vendors, etc., you still should have a moral duty of care to make sure that they're not doing things that would put your business in an unreputable light, or if they feel like they're being forced for whatever reason. So make sure you are taking that compassionate route through that. Also, encourage them to take the 6 days. If they are feeling under the weather, if they are showing symptoms, then they shouldn't be trying to battle through this. They should be taking those sick days, especially in the fact that the government's already said they will cover SSP anyway. So get them to take those sick days. As daft as it may sound, that might also help your cash flow. Now, the final another thing we can think of is actually contact with other people. Now, this might be a case of you might have seminars booked in or in-person training. It might be you're going to some networking events or other places where you'll be meeting other people. Now, obviously, you might want to defer most of those, and in fact, I think that the guidance we've been given by the government is to make sure that happens. So make sure you have cancelled, and make sure when you speak to the people that are delivering the training or delivering the seminar, are they going to be postponing that to a later day? Will you be able to make sure you can get your team on that at a later date, or yourself on that, so that you can use that. Also, speak to the hotels and the transport providers and things, because many of them are also being incredibly understanding, knowing that this is a big disruption for many people. And at the end of the day, a small act of human kindness today may create a long-lasting relationship and customer tomorrow. So definitely make sure you're deferring those as you can. Also prepare for a lot more remote working. So wherever you can, if you can let the team go back and work from home, then make sure they have got the tasks available and they are set up in a way that they can work from home, so that you don't have to be then worrying about, oh crumbs, I've got to buy this, buy that, the other. I was just chatting with an organisation earlier today. They're selling computers, and they're selling computers like hotcakes, because most people have not got a computer at home. Many people have got tablets and mobile phones. But the day when everyone had a computer, the dream of Bill Gates back in the 80s, is kind of evolved now. So actually, having a computer, having the devices that you need may be an issue. So again, look at what people have got, look at how you can use that and make it work for you in your business, and really be realistic about what people can achieve when they're at home. So it is going to be a case of you might not be 100% business as usual operation for you. It might be a case of actually they work at a lower rate. It might be they may not be able to get access to everything. They might not even be able to build the things that you need them to build. So again, be really realistic about what they can achieve, but it means that you can get them to do things. This might be the opportunity for them to do some home studying, to upskill themselves. It might be the opportunity for them to think about what's going to be the next big development in the firm, or push through that kind of next major change or something. So really think about what they can achieve, and really play to those strengths and the time that they're going to have in doing this. You never know, you might actually find they're going to really enjoy it, and your business really benefits from it. I mean, when Google introduced the idea of having a day a month for the coders just to do whatever they liked with, they created all sorts of great products. Just have a look at it online. Now, the other thing to do is make sure you do get your team involved, because you don't have all the ideas, you don't have all the experience, and you probably don't know every single little thing that's going on in your business. But the team you have around you does. They are doing their part of their job. They're part of your larger machine. So do have those conversations with them, and really get them involved in the planning process, and get them coming up with the ideas. What can you do differently? How could you make the cost cuts that you need to make? How can you defer payments? How could you create a new product? How can you build a new service? You never know where that little spark, that little inspiration is going to come, and suddenly you've got something completely different, something amazing that kind of comes out of it. All because you've got more people involved. If you only have a small team and you want to get a wider remit, then join communities. Many communities online. You're welcome to join the Growth, Profitability and Sustainability group. And again, open out the questions. Get the community to help you think about new ideas, new ways of working, or even work with a qualified coach and mentor who can again go through and advise you on what you can and can't do, or will give you some ideas, or allow you to brainstorm and really come up with some unique ways of doing things going forward, maybe even things that you hadn't thought about before. So kind of thought about what we're doing from there. What else can we do with regards to the business and what we're going to do there? Now, the other things we can look at is you can look at new delivery models for the business. So it might be that this is the great opportunity to reshape how your business actually works. Maybe there's been bits of your business that it was a bit clunky and you really could do with a complete process refresh or an organisational restructure or whatever it is. This is an opportunity now to look at those and really seize the moment and make it happen, because you're already in this great positions of change, so why not go for it? You can make something really better, and just because you're having to find new ways of working today at the sharp point of pressure doesn't mean that they're going to be wrong, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to find ways that are actually even better than what you were doing before. So again, really embrace the kind of the new ways of working as you're going through it. We've talked about spring cleaning from a case of your overheads and making sure those are out of the way, but take the opportunity to spring clean the whole of your business. Do you have processes that you're no longer requiring? Is the bits of bureaucratic red tape that you don't need in your business? Are there elements actually that you could just do with getting rid of? Maybe you want to flatten your structure, maybe you want to put more hierarchy in, maybe your business is growing, maybe your business is taking on new continents, new areas. Whatever it is, use this opportunity now to really spring clean what you've got there, get rid of some of the old stuff that's really not serving you anymore. Also use it for developing more new client services and products. So really think about what are going to be some of those key problems your clients are having, and how can you solve them. Why are you best positioned to be able to solve those problems for your clients and make it work even better. And also, that we talked about before, just implement that major change that you've got, because you're going to have the time where you can effectively look at the training materials you need. You can look at your onboarding process. You look at how the whole change is going to work. So use this time wisely to make that work. And let's face it, we never have enough time for this next one, and this is one of those things that everyone says they need to do more of. That you can work on your business strategy now. In fact, you can work completely on your business strategy, your marketing strategy, your sales strategy, all those kind of elements that you get dragged in every single direction for. You can now spend some of your time actually looking at it, because if you can't do everything that you would do normally, then maybe it's time to rethink all that and actually get down a new strategy. So we've kind of looked at a few different facets of your business there and what you can do about it. Now, I've come up with a few key websites that I found really helpful and giving me some great advice. I do recommend probably have a look at this, take a screen grab, etc., and just keep an eye on those. They are providing lots of information and feedback from credible sources, and that's the other kind of key thing here, is to make sure you are looking at credible sources as opposed to just any old source for information, specifically when it comes down to what you are and aren't supposed to be doing. There is a lot of misinformation out there. I definitely recommend go to the source and understand exactly what it is that you mean. If you need help interpreting the source, then obviously bring in some experts and things, but certainly do make sure you're referencing those sources. Speaking of which, if you did want assistance in building a strategy around this, then and you're willing to invest, then I'm open up for a 30-minute strategy call with myself where we can talk about some of those next steps. So please feel free to book a call on call.astutebusinesses.com and find a slot in my diary which is available, and we will have that conversation and see where we can go next with you. Now, obviously, we've talked a lot about your business there, but we're in this position now where we are looking like going to be locked in, either self-isolating or whatever the government's going to do next to us. So I've been a bit of a digital nomad now for the last 15 years or so, working on hot desks in various different countries, doing all sorts of things, working from home, working isolated from my main teams. And perhaps you feel like actually you're isolated, or you might be feeling a bit lonely and you miss and you crave that kind of interaction with people, or potentially you feel like you're just being really unproductive and you're not really focusing, you're not getting things done as well as you did do when you went to the office, or you might be feeling like your time is just being dragged left, right and centre, and there's no definitive what is what anymore, or possibly you feel like you just can't build those key relationships that you want to moving forwards. Now, this is where a little bit of work with how you work as a digital nomad comes in really well, and there's loads and loads of great resources out there, and usually most of them start with the same things, which is get yourself a space in your office, at home, or wherever you're going to be working, and set yourself up there and make that as being the work area that you're going to be working from, whether that's on the dining table, the sofa, whether it's a desk in an actual office room, whatever it is, whatever's going to be your space. Make sure it's a nice workspace, somewhere easy you can put your tea, your coffee, etc. You can get access to all the materials that you need and build it out exactly like you would do to make sure you can be maximally productive when you're in that space. It's great to make sure you've got all the right technology in place, but we may be at the point where that's kind of past it and you have to just deal with what you've got. But even if you're just dealing with what you've got, you can still make sure you're having that great experience when you're dealing with people. So for example, if you are doing a video conference or a conference call, then try to make it a video conference so you can see the other person's face. This helps with the whole isolation feeling, and also means that you're getting a little bit more sensory input than just having the voice on the phone. But if you are doing that, a few things to make sure of. One is probably best off grabbing yourself a set of your headphones, like your Apple headphones or your Samsung headphones, and plug that into your laptop rather than using your laptop's built-in microphone, simply because the built-in microphone in laptops gives a bit of a horrible sound. This, when it's just pinned close to the front of your body, sounds really nice when other people listen to you. So again, it makes them feel closer to you. Also, grab a lamp, like a desk lamp at the back there, or a bedside lamp, and just have it in front of you. So again, it illuminates your face. So rather than when you do see a lot of these people on video calls, they've got very dark faces with black eyes, etc., very foreboding. Whereas actually just having a light in front of you will light up your face, make you feel a lot warmer, a lot more friendly. And again, this helps with building that connection and building those relationships with people while you are online and making these things work. Other things to do, obviously you'll be doing things like to-do lists and planners and all those kind of things when you're at work anyway, so don't stop doing it just because you're working from home. The same kind of discipline needs to be there. You need to make sure you're scheduling out what you're going to be doing. You put it in the diary. If it ain't in the diary, it doesn't get done. So put these things in the diary. Make sure you set the time aside to make these things happen. Remember that you have high productivity periods and you have low productivity periods, and different people do different things. Some people are amazingly productive in the morning. Some people can't even mumble first thing in the morning. Some people are amazingly productive at night. Some people are fast asleep on the sofa. Find where your productive periods are and use that as your working time, and carve out of that the 4 1.5 hour blocks where you can definitely get that deep work done. And then for everything else, just use the time around it, all your admin, all your calls, or being able to just get things done around it, just to make sure again you've got that really nice rhythm into what you're doing. Think about things like Pomodoro method if you find it hard to concentrate. So you just concentrate on one thing for 35 minutes. It means turn off the phone, turn off social media, and get rid of all that distraction and just look at that one thing. Just get that one task out of the way and make sure you have got it in place. The other kind of thing you can do, and I sometimes am guilty of this, is you'll end up in a position where you're just kind of bashing away at the keys and you're just trying to get stuff done and you'll lose track of time. So use the alarms and set alarms at regular periods so that you don't lose too much time and that you can get up out of your seat. Your body is not designed to sit in a seat for so long. So, at least once an hour, get yourself up, get a glass of water, have a bit of a walk around, a bit of a stretch, and again, make sure that you've got that space in your life. And same with things like taking a lunch break. Make sure you do that so that again you have that time where you're able just to stretch. I normally advise for digital nomads to also spend time outside of the house and usually go and find somewhere to work, maybe even if it's just to go get a coffee in the local cafe. However, with COVID-19, I don't think that's probably the wisest idea. But if you do have an outside space, if you have a garden or a balcony or somewhere where you can get out and stretch your horizon, see that something further away than the 6 inch in front of your screen, then that's really beneficial. You'll find you'll feel a lot better for it. You'll feel less stress, less strain, and you'll feel more productive as you go through that. There's lots of different studies out there showing how that can actually benefit from you. So I definitely recommend if you want to go out there and find some, then definitely go and find some and make that work really well. Okay, so that kind of gives you a few ideas as to what I do being a digital nomad to make things work better for me and hopefully for my clients. Let's come back and look at if any questions has come up. So I'm just having a quick look online. I don't think we've got any questions being raised at this point in time. If there is any that's going to come through, then obviously we will answer them offline as well, so please feel free to keep them coming. Just to remind you again, if you do want to provide some advice either specifically around what you can do at this time in COVID-19, or if you've just got an absolutely fantastic kind of product or service that you'd like to introduce people to in a way that they can learn something about how to improve their business and their lives, then please feel free to contact me to become part of the expert view. Also, if you've got a story to tell and you want to really explore something in an interview style, then again, have a chat with me about talking business and let's chew the cud over something that's really going to make a difference in other people's businesses as well. Final kind of reminder to everybody that I offer with regards to a 30-minute strategy call. If you are willing to invest in your business, then please contact me by going to the website call.astutebusinesses.com, where you'll be able to book time straight into my diary, and we'll make that happen in the next few days. Well, hopefully you guys have found this incredibly useful and informative. Like I said, if you have got any further comments or if you have anything that you would like to ask that you've not been able to ask them quite yet, then please leave a comment below and I will get around to answering all your questions as they come through. Be safe, be well, and of course, be productive. Bye for now.